welcome back, everybody. And we are back from our little hiatus, and we are now here dropping you season 2.
Let's
of,
fucking go.
Yeah, and if you weren't here for season 1, go back, watch the entire season 1. You need it to preface this show.
You do. You need context. You need the context.
If you're here for the first time and you're just listening in, or like maybe a friend came up to you and was like, "Please watch the show." I'm Joey. I have been a DM for now 15 years. Yay! Party noises in the background playing.
Of course.
And I, of course, am the host of DED, or Dastardly EZ Dming, where we go over the stories and tales that you guys send us, as well as some that we get recommendations from, to which we ask everybody if it's okay we can use their story. And we have their permission, and we tell their stories of the horrific tales from D&D horror stories or RPG horror stories, because there's a lot more stuff out there than D&D. Just remember that. Don't support your local Wizards of the Coast people. They're terrible people. But anyway, that's my opinion of Wizards of the Coast. If you haven't heard it before, I don't like them. And I am here with my best friend, and he has been a friend of mine for close to, 13, 14 years
Something
now?
like that. My goodness, it's been a while. Hey guys, Antonio here. Player now for 5 solid years now. And of course, it's good to be back. Good to be recording again. And I am pumped up to get season 2 underway here. Joe, before we do that though, we gotta get into some stuff first.
Yes, we do, because we have some other stuff. There's another returning person coming onto the show.
Nani?
Too. And that person is, of course, a Dubby Energy. And they have chosen to sponsor us from season 1, which is so awesome to have our first sponsor be so early on. And they're great, and their drinks are fantastic. I highly suggest, if you like mystery flavor of like anything, they have a mystery flavored powder that you can put into your drink in the morning. It gives you no jitters, and I can say that's 100% Joseph certified, because I drink it every morning. It gets me up.
And you actually like it. You said that you've gone on the record and say it's actually like it tastes good.
It's fantastic. I mean,
Okay.
I love me some other stuff. I mean, I'm a big like gamer stuffs guy too, and like this is just on par with it. And they always have great deals going on. Like I'm pretty sure this month they have like a buy one tub get one free that they were doing, and on top of it, like I said, W Energy is really, really fucking good. Like out of everything I've had, flavor wise from them, every single one slaps. And like I'm also like really big into like I said, their mystery flavor. I had there was like blueberry ice. They had one of those flavors before. That was really, really good. And like I said, it's just a wonderful product that like I'm so glad they reached out to us to promote it and everything. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I buy it every month. It's delicious. So if you want to go try it for yourself and get yourself some fat 10 to 15% off, which I'm pretty sure it's 15. They updated it just a little while ago. If you wanted to get that, it pretty much takes off the tax and the shipping of everything, which is really, really neat. I use our code a lot to get our own stuff, to get my own fix, honestly. And so if you want that, guys, it's going to be Patchwork Games, all one word, all capital letters. And so, yeah, thank you to W Energy for making a comeback for Season 2. And Antonio, we have our own schnaz going on right now.
We do. We have our own schnaz definitely going on.
I just want to say to everyone that ordered and helped our backer kit succeed, thank you so much. You guys are awesome.
We appreciate you guys.
Guarantee you that your books are on the way to us right now, so we can ship them out to you. That's right. All the way to you. Because
that's definitely how shipping works.
A lot of you, I've noticed, are from California. That's a little crazy. But anyway, thank you all so much for all that. It's really awesome. Love you guys. And of course, if you guys want to go check out and order a physical book for yourself because you're like, I don't really like digital products. You can own it.
I
You can
understand that.
physically own the book over on our Patreon. It's going to be $38. There is going to be a link that you can follow, and that link is going to let you pay the shipping fee. Since Patreon doesn't have anything for its physical shipping, we have something for itself. It's just a Google form with our PayPal. If you guys go get that done and you want to go get your book, if you need a reminder, you order the book. We'll just send out a little reminder email with your order, and it'll be the same Google form, and it'll have our PayPal on there with the exact amount for US and EU outside of the US customers for shipping. So just a reminder, if you guys ever want a copy, please go do that, and it'll give you a physical copy shipped right to you. So appreciate that. And of course, we are experiencing a delay in Parasitic Paradigm. I was so excited for it to come out on Halloween night, but we are fixing more things so that it can be better for you. So we will be getting that up here this month. I will for sure get it up this month. Not sure entirely the day, but we're currently working on fixing up not only the character sheets, but we're also fixing up kind of the way that it's a little structured, helping out with it, and just getting it ready for you guys. That way we can release version 0.9, and by the time we get the artwork finished and everything, bam, you guys have 0.1 available, and that'll go up on our Patreon as well, which we plan once we hit 1.5 to do that as a backer kit as well. So we're going to be excited to get that going, get everything going for that, and then we'll sell a physical booklet just like we did, and we'll do it again. So thank you all so much for everything. That's my whole spiel. A little bit longer than usual, just because the entire intro here is
had a lot going on.
For season 2.
Had a lot going on.
And of course, for those of you that listen from our Discord server, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I love playing with you guys. Just so you know, it's so much fun to play different games with you guys. I mean, we're playing Kaiju Okesu right now. It's the best.
It's good. It's a lot of fun.
It's so much fun to get to play and like make Kaiju battles for you guys to fight against, and like, you know, different things like that. And especially with like us having Reemergence, Paradigm, Kaiju, and then having Escape the Asylum, Purgatorio active. And like, we have all these things going on this year. Like, this next year is going to be crazy, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope that we can get everything together for you guys to hopefully have a great year. And so, yeah, to start off season 2, Antonio, I of course have another crazy story for you.
I would hope so.
I did every time in season.
Definitely every single time. Joe, hit me with that sweet tagline, sir.
The tagline for this one, everybody, is problem player walks out after rolling a natural 1, then messages the group chat demanding that we play the way he wants to play.
Oh my
Is denied
god.
and leaves the group.
All right.
That one's a good one.
So we're dealing with at the very least, we're dealing with a bratty player. At the very least,
Man-child, yeah.
A man-child, as you could say. All right, let's dive into it.
This one.
It goes there. It goes there.
Let's go ahead.
All right, let's do it.
Going on with this, I wanted to say that I never really posted anything in a D&D group or anything like that, but this story has been in the back of my mind for the past few months. I've been dying to get it out there somewhere. So allow me to preface this story a bit. I play D&D 3 times a week with a few different groups. A while ago, we only did Wednesday sessions, but we ended up picking Tuesday for more D&D some months later. So it starts off with our Wednesday sessions. For a while, my brother was the DM and we had 4 players. After we got to a certain part of his story, he wanted to take a break from DMing as such, and I decided to take over for a while. So as the new DM, I was still quite new to it and wasn't always the best at planning, balancing, etc.
It's hard.
But for the most part, everyone still had fun and would give me pointers on how to improve here and there, and I was always happy in how every session went. But would always try to make the next session better than the last to mix results, I would say. So the problem player comes in, player number 4, quote. We ended up adding a 5th player right when I started DMing, but again, looking back, player number 4 was definitely the worst of everyone. He played a barbarian. He's a very close friend of mine in real life, so even though I would get annoyed with how he played, I would never bring it up.
Okay.
Just because they're a close friend, you should be more comfortable telling these ones exactly how you feel. Because it's just me. Maybe it's just a personal thing. I don't care. Like, my brothers, my closest friends, Antonio, you know exactly how.
Oh yeah, no, it's
like,
dude,
if I was messing up and doing something like crazy or dumb, like I would expect you as my
friend
to
respectfully, of course, to respectfully call you out on it, and not be like, "Hey, fucking dumbass, what the fuck are you doing?" Like, no,
it's easier to bring it up to someone who's a friend, in my opinion.
It should be
a stranger. Like,
it should be so much easier for you to like just talk to this person about it. It's like, "Hey, bro, what's going on, man?"
Like, if you're getting that annoyed, I would also be kind of like, dude, come on, man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I get that we're playing together and stuff. Like, it's still my first time kind of DMing, you know. I'm not gonna say everyone that is super easy, but it should. I think it is a little easier when it's your friend versus like a completely random person. Because like a random person, I think we also say it's pretty easy. I mean, if you don't like them and they don't like you, just
you just part your separate way. You go your separate ways, and that's it. Like, if it's a rando, who cares? Like, you're probably never gonna meet that person again. You know, nothing lost.
I mean, unless you're us and you get the same guy like 8 fucking times in the Discord.
That.
I don't know.
Oh my
god! You would think that they would recognize, but no.
You would think. You would think. So yeah, but like you said, it should be easy to tell your friends. You know, to be fair towards the GM and players at this point, like friends, like homies who are acting out like this, you also should like maybe, you know, I'm talking to the players right now. You should also maybe like kind of just check yourself a little bit, and be like, okay, well, he's talking to me about this. Maybe I should listen and find out what I'm doing wrong here, because I feel like, you know, Joe, I always say the players, you know, we never mess up, Joe. It never happens at all, not once. But there is occasion where, like, maybe the player just needs to think about their actions a little bit more. Just a little bit, just a smidge.
Yeah, sure.
So go ahead.
So this one says, now first off, I want to leave this as clip notes, but after he stopped playing, I was looking over some of the powers he chose, and he was using them incorrectly for months.
Oh, jeez.
That's definitely at least partially on me for not checking if you're using them properly, but again, don't want to draw too much attention to it because it's ultimately not the biggest deal. I'm gonna stop you there. I think it is a big deal.
Well, can I say this? Is he doing it intentionally, do you think, or is it by mistake?
If it's by mistake, I understand, right?
It can happen.
I know that they're recognizing, like, oh yeah, it was on me for not checking. You know, it's like, okay, but like, you kind of gotta check.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
You do.
That's kind of on you for sure. That's not like like, even if he was using them correctly on purpose,
it's still on you as the DM to like check it.
Check it, because like, if you were like,
that's fair.
Yeah, no, I hit him with a lightning strike and deal 68 damage, I'm gonna be like, how the hell are you? And then like I look over, it's like, dude, it doesn't even say it isn't even a damaging spell. I don't know,
bro. It says like, it also says I get like a DC to try to save against it. You've never told me that. So yeah,
there's a bunch of different stuff that, like, I think, especially with like spells, moves, stuff like
definitely
that if you're not checking them, it could just be first time DM mistakes, which it happens. It's fine. It's not. It's not going to say that you're the problem here. But biggest thing I would say is, like, it is a big deal because you want to check that stuff beforehand, because it's important for not only the story settings, but like, how are they going to play? That's how they're going to play the character I think we say it in season 1. Beware the power of yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if you tell somebody one thing and then you try to go back on it, it is so much harder than just to say no in the first place.
Yeah.
Because they're going to come back with that, oh, well, I've been doing this for this long and blah, blah, blah. Like, how now we're just going to change it? It's like, okay.
Yeah, it gets a little awkward. Can get a little awkward.
It can make things hairier than they need to be.
Most definitely. It can.
So the main problem I always had with him was just the way he played, for lack of a better term. That's missing.
Okay.
But for starters, when player number 5 introduced his character, he introduced him in a very dramatic anime-esque way, and I guess number 4 got annoyed with it and demanded to fight number 5 in-game. Looking back, I definitely should have said no, but I didn't want to put any limitations on the player. So I said yes, but only if number 5 agreed, to which he did, and number 5 ended up getting demolished. He didn't die, but it definitely felt really, really shitty to me looking back, because that was number 5's fresh new character, and the first thing that happened when we started playing is he got his ass beat by number 4.
Yeah, that's not good.
Well, you see, okay, I get it. You don't want to put limitations on people's agency and what they can do in the game.
But that would put that would put a definite damper on my mood if that happened to me.
That and it'd make your opinion of whoever's playing number 4 already sour.
Yeah, most definitely. Like at that point, I fucking do not like number 4. At that point, if I'm player 5, I don't like number 4. Like, I do not like him. Like, if I hear that he's not going to be at the table, like, someday for X, Y, Z reasons, I'm going to probably have a better time at the table because of it.
It's the same thing as, like, if I made a character and you made a character and we plan this fight.
That's different. That'd
be different. Like, it'd be like, oh, like, we're buddies, you know, like, me and the two, you know, we know each other. And we're like, oh, dude, it'd be so funny if we started off, like, as like mortal enemies.
Yeah, enemies to friends type deal. Yeah,
that would be something that I think would be a good way to do that. But it's definitely one of those things where, like, just saying like, oh, I want to fight this guy.
Okay, why? Like, I don't know. If I was like DMing it personally for me, that'd be my first question. Like, why?
Well, and plus, like, okay, I don't know. It could just be the wording for like effect, but the word demanded to fight.
Exactly. That's not like
for me, sound a little more off.
This ain't playful banter type situation.
No, it's like he got annoyed and then demanded to fight.
Yeah, dude. Like I just told him to fuck off, bros. That's like no, like.
I mean, if I had to handle it in game, I definitely would have been like, oh, you go to fight him, but like you notice that there's like a ton of guards around you. To do that would mean to go to jail.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that because there's consequence to my action. Right? So, like, that would be something that I know I would personally do. But, again, and to me, this whole thing, like, the fight, like, obviously, it's a new character. I don't know what level they are. We don't know what happened, if they started at different levels, which if they started at different levels, newspaper to the head. Don't do that. Bad.
Yeah, you never have. We've experienced that before ourselves. You
never. Unless you're playing Reemergence.
Anyway. Yeah, unless you're playing Reemergence, but yeah. So we've had that personal experience, and it just it's not a nice feeling when the party's at different levels. It's never a good feeling. Especially when it's like a pretty wide margin.
If you can do it well, it works well. But if you've never done it, never touched DMing, doing that is like a death sentence for your game.
It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be a good time. And again, one thing we're prefacing here again is that we understand he was new, so obviously there's gonna be some stumbling from a new DM. It happens. We're not bagging on the guy. But just saying, like,
there's
obviously
some that can go on and go wrong.
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
When it comes down to like games like this. Unfortunately, it happens a lot with newer DMs. As we're kind of seeing, we saw in season 1, a lot of the time it was new DMs, and we brought like, even like, okay, like one of the ones that sticks in my mind specifically is always like the one we did with Blue.
Oh my
with
god.
like Sledge and Hammer. Their whole story,
Yes.
like that to me
Yes.
was like them being like, I've been a DM for 30,000 years, millennia, and
30,000
eons.
years.
So then like you go through
Oh.
and like you just see simple mistakes that they're
Mhm.
doing, and it's like if you played for this long, which all my DMs out there, I know you're listening because you guys have told me that like I understand. Like I will say, I had a couple comments on a few of them that were like, "Oh, Joey, you guys can be a little harsh on your new DMs," and I say this with full confidence when I say, if you're a new GM, don't take it like I'm bashing you. This is some tough love. I'm gonna be honest. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you guys, like I get that there's this like idea behind playing, and like it's this wonderful, magical, fun little thing that you can do with your friends and like people that you care about. It's a great way to get out of like bad headspaces. Great way to
Mhm.
do like all sorts of stuff and kind of have some fun with it. Forget about the shitty parts of life and whatnot. But if you're new, I always say this is like, look, you have to play something a little bit, even with some different people. Like if you're gonna DM, I highly recommend that you don't just go right in and just start DMing.
Nah,
The
I
reason
wouldn't
I say
recommend that.
that is because, Antonio, you even know there's so many times that we've read where people are like, "Oh, I just jumped into DMing. Like it's my first time. This is my worst experience ever." And it's like, well, the reason that these keep happening over and over and over is because like either I get it, DM burnout can happen quite a
Oh,
bit. That's happened to a
definitely.
lot of people. But
Definitely.
like the other thing that kind of bothers me with it is like then we just ask whoever's the newest to DM, and they don't say no because they want to play, and
Mhm.
they're just doing basic research,
Yeah.
But it's like your research should come from experience and what you would want as a player versus what they want, right? Because
Mhm.
if I'm a player, because the reason that I say that I'm a decent DM is because I'm not thinking about myself,
Mhm.
right? I'm not saying, oh, what do I want in my game? It's what would I want if I were playing my game,
Mhm.
right? So there's a
Okay.
different mindset to it comparatively to just saying, like, let's just play a game. Like, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna do it for the first time, the one mistake so many people do is they don't play starter kits, or they don't play
Oh yeah,
like,
you
dude,
gotta
pick
you
up pick
gotta.
up pick up one of those like pre-built booklets. You can
Mhm.
find them on Patreon for like $1. You can find them for free all the time for
It's
one shots
it
and
just
stuff
is
like
gonna
that.
help you out so much more versus trying to build something on
Well,
your own,
yeah,
which is
even if it's
so
a six,
difficult.
7, 8 page little
Mhm.
free one-shot experience, and you want to add on to it to make it a campaign, do so, because at
Yep.
least you have the
A
framework for,
foundation.
yeah, you have the framework for characters, the
Mhm.
framework for combat encounters, the framework for how do these things work, what
Mhm.
puzzles can I use. They're all right there in the booklet for you, and that's one of the things that I praise people that do write D&D content. I praise them when they go out of their way to make these booklets because they do help you a lot more. And
Mhm.
as a starter DM, definitely want to pick one of those up. Or if you're going to pick up the physical starter kit and you want to run the Mines of Fendelver, do so. Because it's just one of those things that I recommend to people all the time because I don't want you guys to fail. That is the
No.
biggest thing.
No,
Is
definitely not.
as a GM of 15 years, I want to see more GMs.
Mhm.
But don't want to see you guys go from DMing straight into let's homebrew everything, because that can be
Yeah.
really, really rocky,
Very
and
daunting to do that.
it's really difficult at first. Like
Yes.
if you don't haven't acquired the skill to build something in your head in like seconds, it's kind of difficult because if you're on the fly or something like that, stuff can go wrong. But this is just where I know that I'm watching the things that we're watching right now in the
Hmm.
story, and it's just, again, it's one of those things where it's like, oh my god, like new DM. You see the problems here. They're not checking the spells. They're not checking their players. They're just like, oh, okay, well, you can do this because you have agency to do anything. You do, which I won't say that's wrong. Player agency is everything, and I believe that you should be able to do anything with limitations and consequences.
It's and that's the main thing right there. Is like you can do that, but just like real life, your actions have consequences to them. Now, whether those are good or bad ones, they will have consequences. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like if me attacking my party member in the middle of a city with guards standing around, well, hey, all those guards see is like some dude attacking another dude, and their job is to do what? Uphold the peace. So it's not. It would not be out of the question to think that like if this whole thing happened where player 4 attacked player 5 for essentially no reason, the guards are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" and they're gonna go and break it up and apprehend him. That's just from a DM standpoint, you could do that, and it's completely within the realm.
Then it goes into that realm of, okay, well, what do you do now?
Exactly. Yeah, and again, I don't think you're a bad DM for like doing all this, right? And I hope that
there's some good context in the
yes. Okay, go ahead. Let's move on. We've been harking on this part.
We're talking about it, but I think it's important to kind of go over it. But there's some stuff here that kind of gives context to it. It says, now that was probably the least of my issues with him.
Okay.
During this campaign, he was almost always the first to start a fight with people, be it just normal NPCs, actual enemies, or guards. He would always start fights.
Dude.
Overall, while annoying, it was never enough to actually push me over the edge. Then it comes to one of the largest dungeons that I've ever played. So there's kind of our
there's the aha part, the aha moment. Yeah, at that point, you have to punch. I don't know if I'm saying this right, Joe. Feel free to correct me. You have to punch the player at that point.
Oh, absolutely! Right? I'm 100% down for like if people do stuff like punishing a player is just as fun as like if you can like you can do so without being like
without being a dick.
The table and like having to talk with it. Sometimes it just takes an in-game thing to put them in their place. Like like the guards, you get swarmed, you beat up one guard, and he calls for 8 more.
Mm-hmm.
Is the party gonna fight with it, or are the party just gonna like let him get his ass beat?
I'm just saying, if a player was constantly doing that, I'm not stepping in at that point.
That's what I said.
I'm just taking a step back and be like, hey, I don't know this dude. Never met him once before in my life. I mean, if you're being that much of a problematic player, it's also on the players themselves, as I always say, to kind of like maybe call this out. But also at that point, if your player's at the table, this happens, and your DM's like, okay, here comes consequence. At that point, I would advise to anyone playing in that game just to take that step back, let the player take their licks, and learn a lesson. And maybe try to enforce it afterwards. Just be like, hey, yeah, dude, maybe don't be playing like that. I don't think it's mean or rude or anything like that to let a player get punished. It needs to happen every once in a while. And this is coming from a player.
Here's another thing right here, and this is gonna give you some good feels. Because of the nature of how he played during this dungeon, he ended up getting killed because he wasn't contributing to figuring out the puzzles and was basically just blindly walking through the dungeon. Traps. As I said, he ended up dying because he got caught in a trap and didn't even try to get out of it. After this, he switched characters to a wizard, and he was much more tame after this. However, he still acted up a lot.
Jeez.
There really isn't much more to say regarding that campaign. Everything else went pretty smooth until the end. Which is when I stopped DMing and became a player again while my brother took over as DM. When this happened, number 4 actually dropped because he got a new job. So fast forward about 5 to 6 months. The rest of the party had been playing every week, and our characters are now level 14. We had this campaign set up in a particular way so that if anyone felt like DMing, they just could. As such, player number 2 took over as DM for 2 weeks, and then later I took over as DM again for 3 weeks.
That's interesting.
That's what I was gonna say. It's a little odd.
I guess you could do it. If it's almost like a monster of the week type deal, you could probably do it, right? I think it would be possible to do it like that,
depending on what it is. But yeah. So while number 2 was DMing, player number 4 ended up returning from his hiatus. Now here's the catch, though. We're all level 14, and he didn't want to make a level 14 character. So we gave
No.
him a stat block for what I believe was a level 11 bandit, which I think would be a thief,
I
like
guess.
a rogue, I guess.
I guess.
Maybe?
So wait. Alright. Alright.
And
Fair
just
enough.
let him use it as his temporary character. Number 2's 2-week campaign wasn't very combat intensive anyway, so him having horrible stats actually didn't end up mattering that much.
Okay.
The problem came in when next week he refused to make his character and just wanted to keep playing the bandit stat block. Then the week after, the same thing. So now he's playing with us again, but he's continuing to use his bandit as his character sheet. Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, he's using a bandit stat block.
Yeah, they're using the bandit stat, which is fucking stupid. Man.
Yeah, what? Maybe I'm dumb.
Rude,
why would you do that?
That's terrible. Just grab a pre-made from anywhere.
I'm not trying to be rude, but why? Why would you do that? Why? You're such a you're gimping yourself. You're hamstringing yourself so fucking badly. Like, why would you think this is a good idea? You're 3 levels. You're 3 levels under the rest of the party, and you're using a horrible stat block on top of that. Joe, what happens next? I imagine is just like what do you expect? I imagine something bad's about to happen, and just gonna be very confused as to how he thought it would go with just how he's been playing it. If that makes sense, like I just don't understand how you can expect this to end well.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a bad decision.
It's not a good decision. It's not a good decision.
I hate to say that, but like, not just on you or anybody else, but like, if everyone was like, "Yeah, let's give him a bandit."
Yeah, why did no one? Why did no player even like?
Dude, even if he was like, "I don't want to make a new character," okay, well, I get that you don't want to make a new character, but dude, this is not a character. Like,
yeah,
make an actual character. Like, it takes you 5 minutes on fucking D&D Beyond.
Seriously, like, you can get one put together in 5 minutes. What's the problem?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you're a human bandit...
Like, are we gonna get any context on that about why this dude was kind of acting in that way? Do we get context on it? I need closure at this point. Okay, let's keep going, because now I'm just curious. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this dude?
Yep, so the problem came in when he refused to make his character and just wanted to keep playing the bandit stat block. Then the week after, the same thing. So now he's playing with us again, but he is continuing to use this bandit as his character sheet. It ended up being fine for a few weeks as we didn't have much combat during that time, but it ended up going to shit when we had a very combat intensive session.
No kidding.
Because he was so weak, our group basically only 4 players.
Yep.
But the DM had planned for 5 players, so we struggled really hard. We ended up getting through it, but it was really tough. Then me and the DM came up with an idea to give number 4 a special weapon that can bring him up to par with us, since he refused to make his own character sheet. So we ended up behind the scenes making a weapon that was so absurdly overpowered that it brought him almost perfectly up to par with everyone else, in terms of damage anyway. Now, there was still a problem. Since he was just using a bandit stat block, he was still absurdly weak in every other category. So we still struggled really hard during big fights or other stuff. We got through it with minimal casualties. Then suddenly he stopped playing with us. When we asked why, he said, "Not enough chaos." Quote.
So he's doing this to kind of troll the party then? Is that what I'm gathering from all this?
I don't know. See,
like...
That's the weird thing. Is like...
Yeah.
I get chaoticness can be fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like... My man, you're not even playing a character.
You're not. Like,
I don't think it gets more chaotic than you not actually playing a fucking character, so...
Well, and I maybe I'm stupid. I just don't understand his logic here, maybe. And Joe, maybe you can give me some insight. Because you're not even really playing the game at that point. Am I wrong for saying that? Like, I don't know. Maybe he was actually trying to play and he like role played and everything. And just... I don't know, fucking didn't roll, I guess, that much outside of combat and everything, because why would he bother if his stats suck so much?
It sounds kind of like, to me, like, they don't like the no combat thing. Like, they haven't been in combat a lot.
Yeah,
So
but
for me, I'm like, I feel like that would be chaos, right? Like it just sounds to me like they're like, oh, there's not enough fights in this game, but they're saying it like, oh, there's not enough chaos. Like what? I guess that would just come down to the individual for like, what do you think is chaotic?
I can't. Yeah, I don't get it myself because like I don't get it. I just don't get this dude. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, trying to like put myself in his shoes for a second, and yeah, I'm just flabbergasted. I got nothing. I don't know what to tell you.
The rest of the players were taking the campaign pretty seriously, so he would always try to bring chaos to the sessions. Again, usually by picking fights with NPCs or being the first to charge into battle. So, like I said, he ended up dropping pretty suddenly, but most of us were fine because it was like he was always a burden on the group, honestly. Which, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Now,
at
fast
that point.
forward another month or two, a friend of ours who's never played D&D before really wanted to try, so we organized to play on Tuesdays. We decided to let me DM, and we got about 4 other players. Now, when we were gathering friends to play with us, I specifically asked everyone not to invite number 4, because I didn't like playing with him for all sorts of reasons stated above.
Fair
We
enough.
got our group together and started playing. Everything went well. Fast forward another month. The party is getting towards the end of the first major arc that I had planned. Keep in mind, we play in a public space at the game store.
Okay.
Well, that's also really fucking... That makes everything a little different.
Yeah, now that you said that, I was like, okay, so he's just like, just make sure he's not in your D&D group or something like online plays where I think this is happening.
The problem now is like, since it's physical,
he could just show up.
He could just show up. Yeah,
he could just show up
right here, randomly, without warning. Number 4 walks into the building and sits down with us and says, basically, I'm here to play.
Yep, Joe. At that point, like as a DM, and this isn't me bashing on on the current DM. I think he's also still pretty new, if I'm not mistaken. Because at this point,
I mean, you gotta think after all this time, they've probably been DMing about 8 months.
This part's still gonna be like, for what I'm about to suggest, would be super awkward. Like, to put it lightly, it's gonna be super awkward and difficult. Because at that point, you just gotta tell him to go, right? You just gotta tell him to leave.
Well, I would just say, I mean, I think if it was me, I'd be like, okay, well, you're here to play. Sorry, man, we kind of have everything put together already.
Yep.
So I would have told him, like, I'm sorry. Like, hey, man, like, you're free to watch.
Yep.
But, you know, we already have everything set up. I've got way too many players here. There's 5 players here already.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to take in another one. Sorry, dude.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if someone invited him, or if it was by chance that he showed up, or what exactly happened here. But again, like I said before, he is a very close friend to me in real life, so I don't want to deny him to play with us. So after a bit of contemplating, I told him I guess he could play. So here is where the real horror begins.
Wait, what?
Now,
wait, what?
This post is really fucking long, but
I thought we were getting to the end of it. I thought we were what? Okay, shit.
I want to go into this little thing here where it's like, okay, players, I say this as a DM. Unless you're invited, don't invite yourself.
No, don't do it.
It's like like, why would you show up to someone's house?
It's like, show up for a party you're not invited for. Like,
exactly.
Yeah,
it's really weird. You know, like, don't do that. I feel like that's just like public decency. Like,
yeah, you would
I
think.
Get that you're friends, but like,
yeah,
how this dude figured out that you guys were playing on Tuesdays had to be somebody else.
Yeah, someone said something.
Maybe he was asking someone else in your friend group to like hang out, and they were like, "Oh no, I'm playing D&D today." He gets up, runs out, gets in his car. You know?
I'm sorry, my brain just kind of went on a little journey there. Like, he's on the phone, drops the phone, just runs to the game store.
I was just gonna say, runs to the game store. I feel like that's something that like they probably didn't invite him. They just told him
he showed up.
I can't hang out today. I'm playing D&D with these guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he decided to invite himself.
It's not malicious, you know.
Yeah. I don't think it was malicious how he got there. I think his intentions aren't the best for being there.
Why would you want to play if you don't like how they're playing?
Like, Joe, because he wants to be chaotic. right? He wants to sow chaos.
Yes, but it's like, dude, even if that's the case, I still think it's a huge mistake. Even if he's like a best friend.
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
dude, if it was my brother Michael, dude, I'd be like, dude, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah.
Like, no, like you
Yep.
didn't like how I played earlier. Like, don't play now. Like, I'm gonna play the same way.
Exactly, dude.
You know, so it's whatever. But
Yeah.
his character is a rogue, and I'm already shuddering at the thought of him being a rogue because I know he likes to get up to mischief.
Mm-hmm.
We started playing, and his character got introduced to the party, and everything seems to be going well. Then he starts pickpocketing the other players. Players get into a small scrap out of game, of course, over this, but nothing major. But this did end up leading to the first major rule I've added to the group, which was players are not allowed to access or mess with other players' inventories without permission from the player. This wasn't a decision that I made, by the way. The rest of the group asked me to add this rule, so I obliged. Which I think that should have been a rule from the beginning. I'm not really big on like if somebody's like I steal from this person. I don't know. Like if it's like an important item or if it's like gold or something, you know, it's like if they just stole something that's like, oh, I pickpocket their rock out of their bag.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like do you care about the rock? No. Okay, you pickpocket the rock. Congratulations. Like,
yeah.
You know, like if it's something minuscule and dumb, it's fine. But if you're just gonna do it to everyone, and it's just like, of course you would get into a scrap over at a game, right? It's like, of course people are gonna be like, dude, are you serious?
Yeah, people get annoyed with you.
Yeah, and then like again, they all know this guy. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm like, nobody objected. Not a single one of you was like, I don't want to play with this guy.
Right? Like, players at the table, at that point, if your DM is having a hard time saying no, you gotta and if you're all, like, you all know, you don't want this dude at the table. You all pretty much agree to that. You all said, like, hey, yeah, no, we're not inviting this dude. We're just gonna kind of not let him know about this. So, you're all in it together right now anyways of, like, we don't want this dude at our table. So, together, united, it's more than fair for y'all just to be like, hey, yo, bro, it's nothing personal, man, but we don't want you here. And I don't think it's a bad thing to do that. I don't think so. If a player's going to be problematic and he's just not going to fit your group, it's not a bad thing to politely and respectfully just tell him to fuck off.
Pretty fucking much, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, now, surprisingly, the rest of session 1 went with him okay.
Okay.
He did some small things that annoyed me. Example, the rest of the party had gotten into a fight because of stuff that happened in a previous session. And instead of trying to help, he was off getting drinks and trying to get other NPCs drunk, but nothing major.
Okay.
Which I feel this DM keeps downplaying this guy's actions.
You think he's not trying to make him... Because this is his best friend.
I feel like it's his
or was his best friend.
And he's like just doing this thing where it's like, oh, like it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, he keeps downplaying because he doesn't want to make him look bad.
Downplaying it, and I get it.
Will look worse.
But at the same time, Jesus Christ.
You gotta talk to your friend, homie.
Like,
if you guys still talk.
If you're doing that, like, okay, if there's a battle and you're just like, oh, I'm not gonna fight in this battle, it's like, okay, like we had the Pathfinder game the other day. It was like, with the trap thing.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, this trap's going off, and it was like me and Ryan were just sitting there. I was like, dude, that ain't me, bro. I have nothing I can do over there. I'm gonna just die if I go over there. So
that's fair. That was fair.
My decision with it was like, hey guys, you guys got this. You guys have the highest chance of fixing it.
But we did. We also were
fine.
We were fine.
You know?
Yeah.
And you guys got stuff out of it. And like,
yeah,
like
we did.
I said, I played it kind of like, if I didn't help, I don't deserve anything out of it.
Yeah.
I saw like when people came up and were like, oh, hey, here's some money. And you go just like, oh, I don't want to, you know, you should take it, you know, take my half. I didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
So like, again, like that would be an example of doing something that was like character wise accurate. Gameplay wise also accurate.
Yeah.
What am I gonna fucking do when I go in there? Like I'm just gonna get hit. So
yeah, no, that's fair.
Wouldn't be my favorite thing, but it's not my favorite thing, but it is something that has happened. To us recently. So,
yeah, very recently. I think it was only like last week, wasn't it? Like, yeah. So yeah.
But so session 2 with him also went rather okay. Again, nothing major, but while the rest of the party was doing quest related stuff and shopping before going to the next major quest, he was off pickpocketing random NPCs and repeatedly trying to make bluff checks to rip off vendors. vendors with basic stuff that was already dirt cheap. Again, it's keep downplaying it. Nothing major.
Yeah, because like
You
if I'm
gotta
gonna,
you gotta have some focus, man. You know, like I get it. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm gonna pickpocket these people. Okay, well, what are you gonna do with this stuff you pickpocket? That's one thing I never understand about people. Is like I get it. Like in Skyrim and stuff, like it can be
Mhm.
fun to pickpocket and like put poisons and stuff in people's stuff. Like I get it. It can be fun, but it's really about what do you do with it. You know, like if you're gonna sit here and like steal stuff, what is the purpose of you stealing stuff?
Mhm.
I don't know. Like that's always been my biggest gripe with people that play rogues. It's like, oh, I pickpocket from this guy. Okay, so you got a couple silver out of it. Like, what do you want? Oh, that's it. It's like you're not gonna buy from him. Like he has like magic items and stuff that you could use, and you're nothing. You're just gonna hold on to your gold forever. Okay. It's just dumb. Like to me, I'm like, I get it. Your character is trying to get rich, but like,
Mhm.
how are you gonna do anything else? Like these people are going out doing like shopping, getting items and potions
Mhm.
and gear and stuff like that, and it's like, don't you want to also be powerful?
I mean, Joe. I mean, hey, at that point, that's his choice. I mean, when battle comes around, whatever happens to him
Yeah, I mean, I guess
happens.
you're right, but at the same thing, man, it just always pisses me off because I'm like
Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying.
characters that make their whole personality one action bother
Mhm.
me because it's just annoying because it's like your only thing you do, like the only thing we've seen this dude do is just pickpocket everyone.
Yep.
It's like, okay, that's fucking cool.
Oh, and fight other people. And fight for just everybody apparently. But that was
Fight
last.
people.
That was the last. That was the last
Well,
campaign.
not even
This
one.
one,
This one's not
yeah.
even fighting.
No, this one he's just
They're sitting there
pickpocketing
getting
everyone.
drunk with the NPCs and stuff.
And getting drunk. Apologies, and getting drunk.
That's just
So
like,
yeah,
well, what's your character doing? You know, like, what are they realistically?
what's his
acting
purpose
out?
in being there?
Exactly, and it's just
Mhm.
like one of those things where I'm like, you gotta have something for your
Yeah.
characters, man.
But
And
my
even if
God,
it's like a basis, like, oh, like I'm avenging my family.
something
Like
that's fine too.
my mother and father died, and I was a young. You want to come up with an edgy backstory? By all means, do so. At least it's something.
Mhm.
You know, but it just
Definitely.
feels like this is just a character with no backstory, no nothing. So, session 3 with him, he actually didn't show up. Session 4 with him. So in the previous session, the group got together and paid for a bodyguard to help get them through the next few fights. Now, this bodyguard had neutral good alignments. I told everyone when they hired him that although he would listen to the party while he's employed, he will not do anything evil and will likely not tolerate the party doing evil things.
Ah, shit.
Since number 4 was gone for this, I even sent to our group chat saying the same thing, that he is neutral good and he will help the party but will not help with evil things, and likely will not tolerate evil things. Which, foreshadowing.
Yeah.
So, fast forward a bit, and the party is
I
traveling.
wonder what happens next.
Oh yeah, and it's going off to the next major city to start this next quest. While they are traveling, they come across a merchant on a horse and carriage who's being attacked by goblins. She asks the party for help, and our druid agrees to help and starts attacking the goblins. Now here comes the wizard. The wizard has been a little chaotic up to this point, but hasn't done anything explicitly bad yet.
Oh no.
I don't remember the name of the spell he used, but he used a spell specifically targeting the merchant, and it was an AoE. So the spell targeted the merchant, her horse, and all the goblins, and it ended up killing all the goblins and the merchant's horse. It missed the merchant, though. Surprisingly.
Okay. But yeah, that was clearly an evil act. So I think we know it's coming.
Yeah. After this, the bodyguard basically stepped between the wizard and the merchant and said, "What is wrong with you? You killed her horse and then tried to kill her." And then the wizard started arguing, saying that it was the best course of action. It killed all the goblins in one fell swoop. Bodyguard basically calls the wizard crazy and prepares to leave.
Yeah.
Now, here comes number 4. He is visibly annoyed at the fact that the bodyguard is leaving, and as the bodyguard is leaving, he attempts to make a pickpocket check against him to get their money back, quote.
Dude.
Hysterically, he rolls a natural 1.
Bro. You know, this is just poetic justice at this point. This is just, like,
redemption arc.
Yep, redemption arc. Right? Like you can't write this stuff. Like it just perfect, just fucking chef kiss. And I just can't wait. I mean, we know what's about to happen. We fucking know what's about to happen. He's just gonna, right, Joe? Please tell me that's what happens.
The bodyguard turns around as he just completely fumbled the pickpocket and takes a swing at number 4 with his sword. Right when I say this, number 4 gets up, cleans up his stuff, and leaves the building.
Wait, what?
As he's cleaning up, he basically said that this is stupid. He shouldn't be mad at us. We are paying him. He shouldn't be attacking me. I'm not having fun. Quote. Now, the rest of the session went on. Wizard paid the merchant for a new horse. A few things went on, and all was forgiven in the end. Now, once we finish everything up, I look at the group chat, and number 4 says, "This session was bullshit. Why can't we do the things that we want to?" I explained to him that he can do what he wants.
There's just consequences.
I didn't stop him from trying to pickpocket the guard. I didn't stop the wizard from killing the horse, but actions have consequences.
Yep.
And we actually have some stuff here in the actual chat.
Oh, shit, okay.
So, number 4 says, quote, "It's just a game, though."
There's still actions to your consequences,
and then
bro.
OP says,
I mean, consequences for your actions, bro. Like,
yes, but if you do bad things, you shouldn't be mad when bad things happen to you.
Yep.
And then number 4 says, "Can we just do one campaign where we aren't the heroes?"
So he wants a bad campaign, an evil campaign?
And so then he says, OP says, "Now that line really annoyed me, as the party's been basically the furthest thing from heroes during this campaign. I have been a bit sparse in details this whole time, however, the session number 4 joined, the party was literally participating in an underground drug ring and were killing town guards for sport. At this point,
shit.
The party is basically full-on evil.
Okay.
Not only that, but he joined us without asking. To join someone else's campaign without asking, then demand we play a different way was really shitty to me."
Yeah, I have to agree.
I explained to him after all that, and his only response was that he was leaving the group. Now that was 3 to 4 months ago, and thankfully we just kind of put it behind us. The rest of the party has been going strong, and to be honest, it seems like everyone's having more fun without him. Can't say why that would be.
No, he was such an integral part of the group, and they had so much fun with him. I can't imagine why they're having so much fun now without him. It's crazy to me.
And the last line is, I hate to say it, because again, he's a really close friend of mine in real life, but by the gods, is he miserable to play D&D with him?
Yes, he definitely seems like it. And yeah, again, at this point, this is nothing new for us. We've heard stories similar to this before, and it's just sometimes you gotta put a player in their place, and sometimes you do that by letting things play out how they would in game. Like he sat there, tried to pickpocket that guard, the dude there, and he failed, and consequences came knocking, and he's like, "Nope, I'm out." Like, and here's my thing too. Here's the crazy thing, yes, it's a game. You can do anything you want, but even Skyrim. If you go around killing all the townspeople, what are the guards gonna do? They're gonna at least try to fight you. They're gonna try to stop you. That's consequences to the action. Now, if you're just so powerful they can't stop you, it is what it is. But in D&D, here's the thing: God, the GM there, can make those guards as powerful as he wants to. If he wants to make them essentially immortal killing machines, he can do that. And either you can walk away from the table like this dude did, or, just pretty much my point is consequences have actions. Don't be upset when, like the guy said perfectly, when you do bad things are going to happen to you, and you can't be upset by that as a player. If you're just fucking around like that, don't be mad when the DM guy pretty much turns the tables on you.
Well, there was a chance, man. I'm just saying.
Dude, and they gave that dude so many chances. They didn't let him join in on that. Dude, just nah. I wouldn't let him join. Would not have done it. Of course, that's just me saying that. I wouldn't let him join though. I get he's this dude's really really close friend to him, so I get that. It's hard. And at that point, as I said before, the whole table needs to stand up at that point, just yeah, dude, we don't want you here. It should have just been like that. Nothing personal. It's just they don't like playing with them. Is what is. And I don't have much else to add to that, Joe. Unless you got something, go for it.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I get it. everything here is just kind of really out of whack. I mean,
Mhm.
it seems like he grew as a DM though, very
Oh
much
yeah,
so. And
yeah,
so that's really
yeah.
awesome on you, and thank you for letting us use your story. Obviously, I know we gave you some tough love back there, but
A little, a little.
we still care for you. Thank you so much for everything. And of course, like I said, dude, it's such a interesting story because like there's this whole entire thing where like I cannot understand why people act the way that they do like this.
Like
I
this,
get
I
it,
don't get it.
I
I
get
don't
it.
get it.
If it's not the type of game you want to play, it's not the type of game you want to
But
play.
then you could just walk away.
But the thing that really pisses me off is I'm like, dude, you came into this uninvited.
Yep.
And then when something happens to you, you weren't even invited. So the fact that you're leaving doesn't hurt anybody. I'm
Nope.
sorry.
It really
It
doesn't.
doesn't really make you feel like it doesn't make me feel like this dude's
Like,
justified
oh
anyway.
no, oh
Like,
geez, I feel so. Like, no, I don't.
and then like to say everyone, like I said, at the end of the thing, it's like, oh, it seems like everyone else had fun. It didn't seem like anybody wanted him there in the first place.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
So
Like,
I
so
don't know.
why
And, like,
let
there's
him
plenty
even
of
join the
comments
table
on
at
this
the end?
thing. There's plenty of comments in this thing
Oh,
that are like, dude, every time that I read the comments, I get like brain rot because these people are fucking brain dead sometimes, dude.
I don't know.
But so like some people are like, you're playing in a public space. That's your fault. It's like, no, it's just a place you're playing. Like, who cares? Like,
So
if you're
I'm
playing at a
allowed.
game store,
So
why
if
are
you.
playing at a game
So
store?
hang on. So by that logic, I can go into like a Yu-Gi-Oh game, said there'd be completely disruptive, and that's on the players.
Yeah, that's on the what is it, what are they called? The game hosts or whatever. Right?
Yeah, that's the game host fault that I could come in there and be totally disruptive.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
No,
a
that's
lot of the
on
comments are
me.
kind of stupid. But
That's
I mean,
yeah, that's kind of idiotic to say something like I'm sorry if that
there's a
hurt
lot of
someone's
stuff.
feelings. That's
There's a lot of
idiotic to
stuff.
say that.
There's a lot of stuff here that's like, okay, man. But it's like some of the somebody here was like, oh, you're half the problem. You know, your friend is attention seeking and possessive, and no point did you step up to tell him to back off. Which it was like, be thankful they self-selected because you're willing to let this person shit on everyone's experience rather than stand up to them next time and say no. Which is like one of those things where it's like, okay, in hindsight or from a third-person view, it's easy to say.
Oh,
Like,
it's very
just
easy
tell
to
the
say
dude
that.
just fuck off. It's like
It is easy to
this is
say
also
that.
like your best friend.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like Antonio if I was like, if you wanted to play a game and then I was like really awkward about it, and I said yeah, and it's like it could be difficult.
I would say, well, here's
Yeah.
here's the thing though. Here's the thing. If I'm seeing you being awkward about it, like if you just if I'm like, oh hey Joe, I'd like to join in on that game, and you're like, I don't know, maybe because I'm older, you know, I'm an old fart at this point. I would just kind of be like, okay, I take the hint and just be like, okay, so no, it's all good. Like I wouldn't, if I feel like I'm not wanted there, I'm not gonna force myself to be there because why would I do that? I could do something better with my time than force myself to like be there.
This dude, there's this next one. Like he said, he comes back and says, "I think your friend was there due to their feelings of missing out, or felt slightly that you
FOMO.
chose to have fun without them." Right, which is like that is like
That's
from
fair.
your comment before. That's like a step above and being like actually like thinking about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
He took a moment to think about it. Yeah.
which that I actually do believe. I think
Yeah.
that's completely correct. Is like
Yeah.
if again, this somebody probably texted them. I can't hang out today. I'm playing D&D today with with OP and some other people. You know, it's like, and then he just comes in, right? Because he's like, oh well, they just fucking play without me now, huh? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Could be a whole thing. And so,
Yeah.
and even the OP is like, I would not be shocked if that's the reason why he did it.
Yeah. It probably is, and I can understand that too. But at that point, you also need to be self-aware and maybe self-critical of yourself, and think to yourself, not okay. He's doing that. Think about the why. Like, why are they doing that? Have some self-reflection a little bit. You know what I mean? Because that does not. Even if that's the case, it does not excuse that player's behavior for what he did, like all the stuff he was doing. Doesn't excuse it. Even if he was feeling left out and FOMO and all that.
Yeah, definitely does not need to be a thing there.
Definitely doesn't need to be a thing. definitely 100%. But all right, Joe. Unless we have anything else to add on to that, buddy, I think this one's
I don't
cooked.
have anything else. But really, just remember, everybody. I think going over everything again is
Hmm.
like, I think it's important that if you're gonna play with your best friends or people that you know in real life, and you're going to tables, etiquette is everything.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
like etiquette is everything when
Hmm.
we're talking about tabletop games. Fuck, even card games. Like, come on, dude. Like, if you're gonna show, it's the same thing. It's like, if you're a stank ass player, bro, put on some deodorant. Like stuff like that. It's all
Yeah,
selfish shit, dude.
seriously.
Like, have some
Hmm.
fucking etiquette, okay? And it's
Hmm.
like you're not invited to something. That's just general stuff, man. Like,
Yep.
don't go somewhere you're not invited. Don't walk into
Yep.
somebody's house that you don't know. You don't steal things that aren't yours. Don't punch guards. I don't know, man. Like I said, it's just so many things in this fucking story, dude, that I'm like,
Yeah.
the DM was like, I would say on a ratio, it was like DM being a first time DM
Hmm.
type deal, like learning the ropes. I would say it's like 10% of this.
Yeah.
10%
Yeah.
of it.
He did learn by the
Like,
end there,
it
and
is a learning
yeah,
experience, 100%. So
yeah,
if
definitely.
I've been talking to you and you think this is tough love or bullshit, what I'm saying, totally fair. I only spew that every single episode. But anyway, I don't mean to be offensive or anything. I just want you to know is like you're doing great. You're still a
Hmm.
DM. You're still playing. That's really cool. That's really enjoyable, and I love to see it. But I'm glad that you had this experience to learn from it, because you shouldn't have to learn from these things, but it is,
Yeah.
and it sucks. But at the end of the day, it's really helpful to know the power of no,
Yes,
and
definitely.
beware the power of yes.
Hmm.
Just because there's so much that can go wrong if you don't look over people's things, if you just give them the right of way to do anything, which player agency is everything. So definitely, you did do right. I will say you did right in letting them do the things that they wanted to do. Just next time, be more cautious about how you're doing it. And if
Hmm.
it's a friend that you're playing with and like you know this person, I always say be a little more cautious with people that you play with that are really, really close friends, because there is some times that it works out really well, and you're like, you can play, like my brother Austin and I, like we could get into a D&D game and just like play, have a good time and just play. And we've done it before, me and Tony Austin and some other
Yeah.
people, like we played, good time, great time, and he's my
Yeah.
brother, so that's awesome. But like, if I played with Michael, my other brother, it'd be dog shit time. And I that's the reason I don't play with him. And
Hmm.
that's the thing, is like, I love the guy. He's one of my best friends, he's my brother, of course. So like, of course I want to play games with him and do stuff with him, but this is just not the hobby for us, man. It's not the
Hmm.
hobby for us to experience together.
Yep.
So
It just
just
is what it is.
know your hobbies,
Yep.
know each other's hobbies and what you can do and
Hmm.
everything. And I think that's the main course of action here.
Agreed.
But yeah, Antonio.
I got nothing else to add to that, but you tied that off perfectly with a bow.
Well, sir, I gotta say, welcome back, Antonio.
Welcome back.
And everyone else to
Mm-hmm.
season 2. I know you guys have been waiting for something like this. Instead, you've been kind of waiting for us a little while, and I know you guys have been listening to our live plays, and hopefully you listen to the Halloween special as well. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. We will be kind of rotating the episodes a little bit every week between our live plays and DED. It gives us a little more time to find great stories and find these different people to talk about, and it kind of gives us like a little break in between, so we're not like season 1 where we're 50 episodes in and like, oh my god, like, at the end we're just defeated, because there's yeah, so it gives us a little bit of
accurate.
time between all that stuff to kind of get together. So you guys will see us rotate between a few things, like Reemergence. We're playing a Reemergence game. We're playing Paradigm. We're playing Pathfinder 2E with a good friend of ours. So it's gonna be fun to see that. Hopefully, I can bring some more people on to DED so we can actually do some episodes again with more people. As much as I love Antonio and me just for ourselves, I do also love having other people on here hosting and you guys sharing and doing all sorts of stuff. So keep doing that, please. You guys have been awesome about our growth lately and everything else. We grew a little bit over our hiatus anyway, which is
Which is
really
kind of been
awesome.
crazy.
So I look forward to seeing what the end of the year brings, seeing how many people we get. So of course, if you guys are listening on YouTube or Spotify, please, if you're watching us and you haven't subscribed yet, it would really help us out if you did. And so make sure to do that. And it would be
We
really, really
appreciate it if
cool
you
of
do.
you. And
Yeah.
the more we grow, the more stuff we can get ready and prepared and do and everything like that. So I guess until next time, Antonio, remember DMs. Stay
Stay
dastardly.
dastardly.